Anselm's Monologium on the Being of God. Chapter 65. How real truth may be reached in the discussion of an ineffable subject. But again, if such is the character of its ineffability, nay, since it is such, how shall whatever conclusion our discussion has reached regarding it in terms of Father, Son, and emanating Spirit be valid? For if it has been explained on true grounds, how is it ineffable? How, if it is ineffable, how can it be such as our discussion has shown? For could it be explained to a certain extent, and therefore nothing would disprove the truth of our argument, but since it could not be comprehended at all, for that reason it would be ineffable. But how shall we meet the truth that has already been established in this very discussion, namely, that the Supreme Being is so above and beyond every other nature that, whenever any statement is made concerning it in words which are also applicable to other natures, the sense of these words in this case is by no means that in which they are applied to other natures. For what sense have I conceived of in all these words that I have thought of, except the common and familiar sense? If then the familiar sense of words is alien to that being, whatever I have inferred to be attributable to it is not in its property. How, then, has any truth concerning the Supreme Being been discovered? If what has been discovered is so alien to that being, what is to be inferred? Or has there in some sort been some truth discovered regarding this incomprehensible object, and in some sort has nothing been proved regarding it? For often we speak of things which we do not express with precision as they are, but by another expression we indicate what we are unwilling or unable to express with precision, as when we speak in riddles, and often we see a thing not precisely as it is in itself, but through a likeness or image, as when we look upon a face in a mirror. And in this way we often express and yet do not express, see and yet do not see, one and the same object. We express and see it through another. We do not express it and do not see it by virtue of its own proper nature. On these grounds, then, it appears that there is nothing to disprove the truth of our discussion thus far concerning the supreme nature, and yet this nature itself remains not the less ineffable, if we believe that it has never been expressed according to the peculiar nature of its own being, but somehow described through another. For whatever terms seem applicable to that nature do not reveal it to me in its proper character, but rather intimate it to some likeness. For when I think of the meanings of these terms, I more naturally conceive in my mind of what I see in created objects than of what I conceive to transcend all human understanding, for it is something much less, nay, something far different, that their meaning suggests to my mind, than that the conception of which my mind itself attempts to achieve through this shadowy signification. For neither is the term wisdom sufficient to reveal to me that being through which all things which were created from nothing and are preserved from nothingness, nor is the term essence capable of expressing to me that being which, through its unique elevation, is far above all things, and through its peculiar natural character greatly transcends all things. In this way, then, is that neither ineffable, because it is incapable of description in words or by any other means, and at the same time an inference regarding it, which can be reached by by the instruction of reason, or in some other way, as it were in a riddle, is not therefore necessarily false.